Hey guys, JG here. Before this video gets started, make sure to subscribe to the TMK channel for all of our content. We got JG's Movie Night, we got Look Ma No Helmet, and our newest edition, Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Now, it isn't necessarily a new show. Obscurities is a podcast I would do with Remy Grey, and we watched movies we never heard of with zany titles. Now, we're interested in making new episodes for YouTube and podcasting platforms, but in order to do that, we need your help. If you like this podcast and you find it funny, you want more, help us get this video to 1,000 likes. I know that sounds crazy, right? But hey, let's shoot for the moon, why not? Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, I don't know, is Tumblr still a thing? Let's do that too. If we all band together, we can resurrect this amazing show. Thanks for listening to my little spiel, and now sit back, relax, and enjoy Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Ooh, iPhone's on sale on Black Friday. It's a steal. I need to get this iPhone right now.
Hey,
all right, where'd the...
Hey, is that an iPhone in your hand?
It is. It's
I
the
saw
new
that
iPhone.
first.
How? It's
I
in
saw
my
that
hand.
first. No, that's my iPhone.
No, it's I was here before you.
No,
I didn't
you
even
weren't.
see you.
No,
It's in my fucking
give me
hand.
that
Hey,
iPhone.
no, I need to listen to Obscurities of the Silver Screen. I need this phone.
That's why I needed to listen.
Wait,
listen.
You listen
Hey.
to Obscurities of the Silver Screen?
Yeah, with JG and Remy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good show. Give me that iPhone.
No, fuck you.
No,
Get down. And welcome back to the show today, Black Friday. Hope you all enjoyed Thanksgiving. I know I did, and yeah, I'm still full.
Me too.
And
John, what did you have for Thanksgiving?
what? Well, okay, you're just gonna say that because I'm a fucking vegetarian, huh?
No. I had turkey and ham and pineapples.
Fine. I had mashed potatoes. I had green beans. I had some wine. I had pumpkin pie and ice cream.
Whoa. Bring it back. What was that last one?
And ice cream.
Okay. Can you tell me what ice cream is?
It's ice cream, but icier.
Okay. I had yams. They were fine.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, as so did I, and I hope we hope you all did too, and we hope you're all not killing each other at Black Friday going shopping, and but we hope you are listening to the podcast on Black Friday while you're shopping, and you're like, hey, you know what? I need some comedy about movies while I shop for a big 80,000-inch screen TV that I actually don't need. But
why is it always TVs with Black Friday?
I have no idea, dude.
Because I go there to pick up like bed sheets and like
things I need,
like forks. Yeah, things that I live with.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to have a big ass TV. I do have a pretty nice sized TV.
I would like to have bed sheets and forks, but hey,
yeah, isn't the idea supposed to be that's when you buy gifts for Christmas?
I've never thought of that.
That's exactly what Black Friday is for. Like, they put it's the day after Thanksgiving, so it's officially Christmas season, even though many people will tell you Christmas season starts on November 1st. And that's like, you start, that's when you buy your gifts for everybody. Unless you're like, my girlfriend who buys her gifts like, months in advance.
Ooh.
Like she already has my Christmas presents.
Well,
she's had them since like the beginning of November.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. And me, I'm
she's
like
super rad.
And me, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to get.
I
hope she doesn't
have
listen to
bought
this.
all of my Christmas presents already, and I say that with complete honesty.
That didn't sound honest to me.
Oh, but didn't it?
Well, okay, enough talk about Black Friday. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we watched a rousing film. It was called Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
This is the second Bubba-related film that we've seen.
Yeah, so and in a row too. So like we have sort of connections. I think we're starting to form. So
Right.
so like we watched Spider-Man 3, which had Bruce Campbell. Then we watched Bubba Hotep, starring Bruce Campbell.
Right.
And now we watched Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. So I'm guessing the next movie we have to watch is Werewolf Orgies or something. You know, I don't know.
What was that?
Werewolf Orgies. I
Yeah,
bet,
we'll
I'm
watch
sure
that
it's a
one.
movie.
Yep.
Or something you'll find on, you know.
Please do not fill our inbox with werewolf orgy-related things.
Please do not. We do not want that at all. Anyway.
I don't know. Now I'm curious.
So, Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. It was made in 2014, and it's a really low-budget film.
Yeah, in fact, there's no Wikipedia page.
No, I know. We depend on Wikipedia pages for this show, and there wasn't one.
I mean, for the record, that's
There
sort
was
of
an
our...
IMDb page, but
It's sort of like our starting off point where we go like, okay, what is this movie? Who is
Right.
involved? And then we like go into the research a little bit.
yeah.
But we didn't even have that. So,
Nope.
So here's this film, everybody.
We're kind of on our own with this one.
It is an amazing horror comedy. I mean, it's not really even horror. It's just kind of a comedy with the horror storyline, but it's not scary at all.
Right.
Like, it's not even trying to be scary.
Right.
Yeah.
So we open up with like this woman who's like this medium or psychic or palm reader. You know,
me see into
she's supposed to be like she's basically doing a really bad impersonation of Maria Hushpensada, who was the gypsy woman in the Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney Jr. in 1941. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that movie,
Great
it's a
film.
great film.
Great film,
I mean, it's a
yeah.
little cheesy and outdated now, but it's still fucking awesome.
Right.
You know.
But it paved the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was part of the Marvel. I mean, not the Marvel. It was part of the Universal
R.I.P.
monster
Stanley.
movie. I know. It was part of the Universal monster movies from the 30s and 40s, which are all amazing, and you should definitely see those movies. It's what gave rise to really like werewolves in cinema. It was the first like popular one.
Yeah, like Howling at the Moon,
Yeah.
your furs ripping out of your
All that's
clothing.
it actually
Yeah.
like it set up a lot of the tropes, like by full moon you become a werewolf. Of course, and this movie does not follow that trope at all because this dude's just
It's-
werewolfed out all the time.
Right.
It's more like Teen Wolf in that sense, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
If Michael J. Fox was a redneck, you know.
So
the movie.
This film, it opens up with a shot. Well, I mean, okay, so we get the
gypsy woman.
Gypsy woman. And then it goes to the shot of Barkham Asylum.
The dog pound.
So it's a dog pound called Barkham Asylum.
Oh my God,
and
so amazing.
It's like this really intense, like it's a dark and stormy night. There's thunder. And it's the slow pan down like the hallway where the cells are for all of these dogs.
Yeah,
and
they're
then-
so cute.
Oh, they're so cute.
Just so
It's like
cute
they
doggies.
don't even have like your stereotypical like scary dogs. It's like there's like a Chihuahua.
Yeah,
and
there's like a
some
golden
poodle,
retriever.
There's like
you
some
know.
mutt that's
yeah,
just like
they're all
happy
just
to
so
be there.
cute. You know,
Yeah.
you just want to like pet them all. And we're introduced to Bubba, our hero. And he works at the dog pound, and you know he's just like, oh, I love dog. And he goes like to this really small dog's cage, and he gives him just a shit ton of food.
Yeah, like way too much food. He has like he's carrying a bucket of what we thought was gonna be like some slop or something, but it's like straight up kibble.
Yeah.
Like it's good. It's just dog food. And
Yeah.
so he's pouring it in. He calls all of them by name.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He knows all the
like
dogs. by
he
name.
loves them. In fact, I think he named them because it's like he named one of them Six Pack,
Yeah.
and it's like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
And then there's Kiki, who you don't mess with. He says that to
Kiki,
another dog.
Do you love? Oh, I'm just gonna stop that. I'm white.
And the nice. Yeah. So we're introduced to Bubba, who loves dogs and works
Yeah.
at the Barkham Asylum.
And then we get this awesome theme song
Oh yeah.
for Bubba the
It's-
Redneck Werewolf.
It's if you've ever seen, the only thing that popped in my head was Sharknado,
Yeah.
which weirdly they make a reference to in this film.
Yes, they do.
But in Sharknado, they have this theme song that's the Sharknado
And
theme song.
I know you were not here for that episode, but for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they
Right,
also have a theme
right.
song in
Yeah.
that movie as well.
Movies with theme songs kind of tickle me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they're trying to like be like Ghostbusters, but a lot of them fail miserably.
Sure, but I mean, honestly, this theme song was pretty good. It's all about
Yeah.
Bubba and how he's just some hick.
Basically,
That's pretty much all the theme song's about.
That's
yeah.
all you need to know, ladies
Yeah.
and gents. So moving right along. So yeah, we find out like Bubba just loves all the dogs, you know, and
he leaves his work and he turns on the radio station, and it's, "You're listening to KRUD, The Crud."
This movie is filled with like really good jokes that are always in the background.
Well, yeah, like just little like headlines or just little like
advertisements,
signs,
like posters,
yeah, signs.
like it's Simpsons style, where
Yeah.
like the general store will have some silly name.
Yeah,
or
which makes you think, okay, the makers of this film were much smarter than we're led to believe by the kind of insanity of this film. Like we have like ass body spray, which is Axe basically. you know?
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of great stuff like that, which they make it fun. It made me feel like, okay, they understand that this movie's probably subpar, that they thought when they were making it. It's like, okay,
but their jokes are really good.
Oh no, the jokes are really good. So they put little things like that in the background or on the shot, so you always have to be paying attention and be looking at what's on the screen, so you can find the jokes written on the screen. I thought that was really smart.
So as Bubba is closing up his shift at Barkham Asylum, the dog pound, he leaves, and we get to see the town that he lives in, which is called, well, he passes the sign that says, "Welcome to Broken Taint, the land that time forgot, Crocker County, Florida."
Yep. And also, first of all, that's a great name for a town, Broken Taint.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is that he's driving and it's nighttime, and if you could see me, ladies and gentlemen, I used air quotations because it's clearly they shot it during the daytime and then just darkened it, put a nighttime filter on in After Effects.
Because I imagine the Bubba actor wasn't available at nighttime or something.
It's a fucking truck,
in a werewolf film.
Yeah, or they couldn't get the truck for night, so they had to use during day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that, and it was just, just beautiful.
So Bubba is heading back to the Broken Taint. I say the Broken Taint as if it's a pub. It is a town. He's heading back to Broken Taint, and he's going to a bar.
The bar, which is called the Rusty Bombshell.
Yes, and he's going to pick up his girlfriend, also
Bobby
air quotes,
Joe.
Bobby Joe. I can't tell if it's Barbara Joe or Bobby Joe.
No, it's
because
Bobby Joe.
It's just Bobby Joe.
It's definitely Bobby Joe.
All right,
I think.
Oh, that's fine. So she's apparently banging. That's all we know about her is that she's super hot. That's all he's really thought about in his inner monologues and stuff. So he's heading to the bar that she works at.
Yeah.
Or
at least frequents.
Right. Oh, you're right.
I don't think she works there. No.
It seemed like she worked there when they were talking about her.
Yeah, but well, I initially thought the Rusty Bombshell was some stripper joint, not a bar, because it sounds like the Rusty Bombshell. Sounds like a
I don't know. That sounds like a dope bar to me.
It sounds like a dope bar or a low-rate stripper club.
Sure. Which it's probably both. But,
I'm sure some girls have gone in that bar and just woo.
Yeah. It's can I just stand on the bar and take this off? And they're yeah. And it's can I take this guy's money? It's sure.
Sure, why not? Just give us 20%. Sure. And so we find out he gets to the bar and he sees we're introduced to Cletus, who's this Vietnam vet who
lost his testicles, he says, every 10 minutes.
Yeah, he lost his testicles in the Tet Offensive. He always changes the story of when in the Vietnam War he lost his testicles.
Right.
It seemed like he was at a Vietnamese massage parlor during the Tet Offensive and lost his balls.
I mean, it happens.
Hey, it was Vietnam.
And we're also introduced to Bubba's third cousin.
Once removed.
Right, once removed.
Yeah.
And that makes it weird if they were to have a thing. It's a dude.
But if it was his second cousin, it'd be fine.
What is his name? It's Klaus or something?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that. So Bubba is looking for Bobby Joe, and the bartender lady, she's super awesome. She's possibly my favorite character, and I do not remember her name. JG, do you remember her name?
The bartender? His name was Jamie Sue.
Jamie Sue. Great. Jamie Sue. So yes. Jamie Sue's oh, you didn't hear? Baba Joe's out with Dangerous Dwight?
Yeah, Dangerous Dwight.
Yeah, Dangerous Dwight in his fancy car because she's having a AAA meeting. And then Bubba's you mean AA meeting? And then his third cousin is no, AAA meeting. That's a car thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like the and then Cletus is like, I've been a member of the Automobile Club of America, and they don't do that sort of thing except give you roadside assistance. Yeah.
So now Bubba's like pissed. He drinks.
You know that AAA gave him like $5,000 for that. You know.
Well, I mean, I doubt it. It doesn't show in the budget. So
Wait, you're implying that we looked at the budget of this film?
no, not at all.
We can't even find it. There's no Wikipedia page. There's no way we're gonna find it.
So if any of our listeners have any relation to this film,
If you have like some insider information on this film, like, you know, again, like just let us know.
I feel like we're gonna ask this about most films. Is
Yeah.
like, if you know anybody,
And
who's
none of you
involved-
assholes have done that yet.
Yeah, come on,
Pull your
Send
weight.
us- I asked for fan mail.
We
then
haven't got our fan mail
Also,
yet.
we never gave our address, so there's that.
Well,
Fan
yeah,
email,
I don't think
I
we
guess.
want mail coming to our house.
Kidding me? I'll tell them where my house is. Like, you asshole made this podcast. It ruined my life.
It's like, well, damn, now they know we're
Anyways,
on to the movie.
So Bubba is pissed off that Baba Joe is going to hang out with this dangerous Dwight. So he goes out into a parking lot. We imagine that he found the area that they're in, and he sees this fancy ass car, and he's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass."
He just starts
And
kicking the car.
He's not. Nobody's in the car, so he's literally just kicking the car's ass. He like kicks it a few times, and he punches it, and like his hand hurts, and he's like, "Damn!" And then a different fancy car, Baba Joe and Dangerous Dwight get out of, and they're like, "The hell you doing here, Bubba?" And he's like, "Oh,
I'm kicking this fancy car." It's like, because you're doing it in it. And then Dwight's like, we weren't doing it in that car. We were doing it in this car. You know?
So Bubba gets all sad, being like, "Baba Joe, but I thought we was dating." And then,
in college, that was all in high school, Bobby. And he's like, but I got a job. Yeah,
but
you got that.
I got a job now, and I'm a real man now.
It's like, yeah, no, but that was in high school, you know? It's like, and then Dangerous Dwight goes like, face it, she likes a man who's strong and has a real job and has better armholes.
Well, I got armholes.
Yeah, but yours
Look
are
at
all
look
shitty.
at my
and
vest.
They're all
It's-
torn up and shitty. Like, I got mine like all nice and hemmed, and like I went to the Joanne store and hemmed them, and they and got like lined and everything.
Well, I cut mine with shears.
Yeah, because you were fucking redneck.
Oh shit.
I use scissors and I use little those things that seam. I got seam rippers too.
You got what?
Yeah, seam rippers. I also
What?
have a toaster that toasts four
Well, I got it.
pieces of bread.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's better than your lame 2 pieces of bread toaster.
Well, and Bubba is literally like speechless because that scene actually happened.
Yes.
And Bubba's just like, "Oh shit!"
Almost verbatim, actually.
Four
That's pretty.
sliced toaster. Like, I can't really.
I can't
with this
compete with
guy
that,
anymore.
you know.
Yeah, because he's a real man with real man armholes and 4 sliced toaster. And now Baba Joe's just totally smitten over Dangerous Dwight. So
Yep.
Bubba's a little upset and he's torn. So he just kind of heads out defeated.
Yeah. And it was at this point, because he goes back to the bar and he's like, Bobby Joe, who doesn't like me, meh, meh, meh. It's at this point that I realized this actor, like, yells every fucking line he says. And I was just imagining, like, the director was like, hey, buddy, great job. Maybe we could just, like, take the volume down a little bit, you know? And he, like, the guy playing Bubba was already like, up here with his fucking volume, and he brings it down to up here with his fucking volume. It's like,
Yeah.
shit. Okay, well,
Like, we can't direct this guy to not yell constantly.
like, can you whisper? What's whispering? You know, kind of stuff. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Just roll the camera. God damn it. You know.
So, whoa, we missed out literally the biggest thing. I'm so sorry to bring it back.
did?
But when he gets mad at Dangerous Dwight and Bobby Joe for fooling around, getting all sticky in the back seats. Sorry that I just said sticky in the back seats.
Sticky in the backseats. That sounds like a great band name.
Yeah.
It's our new band
it's
name.
probably like an album though. It's like a Rolling Stones album.
Sticky in the back. So that'd be our like first album, Sticky in the Backseats.
Yeah.
But no, we are Sticky, and the album is Sticky in the Backseats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Coined it.
Pin that.
Nobody can take that. Anyways,
ours,
so when he gets
fuckers.
mad about them being sticky in the back seats, he shouts to the heavens. He said, "I would sell my soul to get you back, Bobby Joe." So, and like lightning shoots down. Yeah. So this is like a crucial point of the entire film that we just kind of breezed over.
Right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So then he goes back to the bar and he's like hanging out, being sad. telling all of his bar friends
He'll do anything to get Baba Joe back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then walks in Satan
The devil.
in like this cool ass suit, and he's all red. He's like
jazz
classic
music
devil.
playing.
Yeah,
He's got like
yeah.
a red tie with a black suit and like red cufflinks. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
and-
got the red skin, like black
Yeah.
fingernails, tiny little red horns, and he's like this super skinny. He actually kind of looks like a redneck himself, weirdly. Like his face is
because his
too
neck
long.
is literally red.
Yep, that too. Nice. So he comes in, and Bubba essentially makes a deal with the devil over a pint of beer and a shot of whiskey. And Bubba lists off a few things, saying like, "I wish I wasn't bald anymore. I wish I had hair on my head, hair
And
on
on my chest."
And then
Yeah.
the devil's like, "Well, we don't got to worry about that," and like checks a little thing off his little list. And he's like, "Also, I wish I was strong, and I wish Baba Joe loved me."
And I wish I had a toaster that had 4 slices and a covered ashtray.
And so then the devil goes into this awesome like, "Well, if you look right over here, we have a brand new 4-slice toaster oven, and 4 pieces of gold toast pop up. And also, if you order right now, we'll toss in a smokeless ashtray and a vegetable skinner."
Wow.
And the audience goes wild. And then Bubba's like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know about all this." And he's like, "Well, because you hesitated, we're taking away the vegetable skinner." And he's like,
Aw,
"Well,
man.
no, I wanted that. So then the deal is slowly getting slimmer and slimmer. And Bubba's just like, "Okay, deal.
Deal. I'll sign the
Like,
contract.
I need that toaster. I
Yep.
need my strength and my hair back."
Yep. I also noticed in this scene that the backgrounds were really dark. You could not see. It just looked like blackness
It was
behind it.
Definitely something that they did in post. Like, I don't
don't know if it was so much that. I think they just did not have enough money in the budget for enough lighting to light the background.
I thought that it had to do with the devil's skin. Like they
his
were trying
skin was
to
like so red, maybe that they were trying to like darken
dim
it, a
it
bit.
down.
I
Either
guess.
that, or they
His
were
skin
doing
was
color
really
correction.
red.
I think that they were doing color correction, so that's why everything
maybe.
else was super dark and he was super red.
It was just it was either color corrected or lighted really weirdly.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is weird. We can't see anything else in the bar. You know, it's like, and we know there's like not just one light hanging in the bar.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, I digress about, you know, technical things that I noticed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
moving right along. The next morning, Bubba is in his home. And just to, you know, point out something really funny, there's this Cownado poster just hanging up in the background.
Yep.
Starring Terrible Reed,
Ian Annoying.
and John Nerd.
And then it says Cownado, the movie. And they show this poster like 3 times throughout the film where people
Yeah.
are talking and it's just like in the middle of the screen. So you have
It's
to
a
look
great
at it.
joke, but
Yeah.
I just feel like it's taking a dig at a movie that already knows it's a joke. You know?
Right. But this movie, weirdly, if you have seen Sharknado, this stands on the same sort of level. Where
Yeah.
it's like funny B movie that knows it's being a funny B movie.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they
and
are
the
making
Sharknado
fun of
movies were
themselves.
more self-aware of that, I think, you know, as they went along.
Sure.
I think the first one wasn't as self-aware.
Right.
I mean,
I
they
feel
were
like
they were kind of self-aware, but I don't think they thought it would be as, you know, far to how it got as people saw it as, you know. And then they say, well, we gotta just go bigger and funnier.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, but I
anyway.
feel like Bubba the Redneck Werewolf is around like Sharknado 3
Yeah,
level
where
of
it's like they're
awareness.
intentionally
they
making
get
a
it.
B movie. Like they
Yeah.
know they're making kind of a not so great movie, so they're just gonna make the best that they can.
Yeah.
Like, and just have a whale of a time.
And realistically, I like that. Having
Yeah,
a shark of a
I
time.
enjoyed it,
Having
you
a
know.
cow of a time.
Yeah.
Having a cow. Don't have
Having
a cow,
a-
John. Sorry, I blacked out for a second.
So then, let's see, what else happens here? Oh yeah, so then Bubba wakes up, and he is a werewolf.
And he's got like really smooth skin for the prosthetics that they
Right,
gave him.
yeah.
He's got like just like brown, like wolfy skin on his face, and then long gray hair on the chin, chops, like long hair on top.
Yeah.
He's got hair on his hands.
And
on
he's
his
like muscled up too.
on his palm, he has a pentagram.
Right.
Because that's where the devil shook his hand and it became a pentagram.
Right.
Um,
And then he goes like to the bathroom and like he sees that he's a werewolf and he's like, oh, I must be dreaming. And he takes like a nail filer.
Yeah.
And he just stabs his hand with it.
Because he's like, if I don't feel no pain, then I am dreaming.
And he stabs himself with it. He lifts it up to the mirror and it's like, see, it's just a dream.
Ah!
You know?
And then cartoonishly drops it into the sink.
Right.
Of course, which one of my favorite jokes is when he drops it into the sink, you see his toothpaste tube in the sink, and it says, "Now with even more corn."
Yep.
Because everything in this movie, any kind of advertisement or billboard or store name is some kind of hick joke.
Yep.
So his toothpaste says, "Now with even more corn."
And it's just beautiful. It's also funny too because like he's not phased at all that he's a werewolf.
And weirdly, nobody else is.
Well, nobody. No, we'll get into that in a second. But like,
possibly has to do with the curse.
maybe, yeah.
We don't know.
I don't know. That's where it's kind of like, okay, they don't really explain too much. Some of the things that go on in this film. That's just kind of like, what? Why?
So after he stabs his hand, he like makes faces in the mirror for like a little montage.
Oh yeah.
He's like doing like angry face, scary face, doggy face,
and then he's doing like
and
you
he
know
does like Home Alone face.
yeah,
Where
and,
he's
then,
like, ah!
and he does like quote. He's like, hey, taxi driver. He's like, you talking to me? You talking to me? Well, I'm a fucking werewolf, you know.
And then he like has this moment of like, oh wait, if I'm a, and then he opens his pants and looks down and looks back in the mirror, being like, yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
big old woof dong.
and then he just randomly decides to go to Bark.
I'm sorry. Big old wolf dog. Oh, okay.
We are having some kind of fun with this episode.
I'm back.
Yeah. Then he goes back to the Barkham Asylum and he just randomly releases the dogs. And Remy, what did you say when he released the dogs?
Oh, because now we finally know who let the dogs out.
Who?
Who let the wolf man out?
Oh, then we get this montage of like the devil just like fucking up shit in town. Like I was noting everything he was doing to the town. He had like he made people go. He like tricked people to go into a Michael Bay marathon, and then they all get inside. Which I didn't know the rednecks liked Michael Bay.
Right, apparently that's a thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, and so they all go inside, and then he changed the sign and it says Foreign Film Festival, and they all run out screaming.
And they're like, foreigners.
He tricks people to go to a book club.
Yeah.
There's like this nun that's like, you know, saying, you know, repent your sins. And then he just starts grabbing her tits.
Yeah,
you know,
he
and
like goes up behind her and starts getting like devil seducey. And then
Yeah.
it shows like his hands on her boobs.
And they keep like cutting back to her during
Like
this entire
is the
montage.
one constant throughout this montage.
Yeah, and like she's like she like loses her clothes and she's like
And then
in
she's
like
in this orgasmic state.
yeah,
and
and she's like in her
getting
fucking
naked.
like yeah, she's like in her fucking like underwear with like fucking like fishnet.
Yeah. And there's like this fat guy at a bus stop who's just looking at her just writhing by herself because he can't see the devil.
Can't see the devil. Yeah, and it's just like, wait. My thing was like, wait a second. Why would a nun wear something so promiscuous underneath? Yeah, like she wouldn't.
I think that, you know, if you have to wear that same garb every day, you gotta spice it up.
She also, because then like, you know, like the devil left and she like sees the guy on the bench and she's like, you know, she like goes to like make out with him. She has like this big tattoo on her that takes up like her entire back of Frankenstein and the bride, or Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein.
I realistically think that was just the actress's tattoo.
Oh yeah, no,
and
that
they
was.
didn't have the budget to
clean
it
you know,
up. Yeah,
to cover it up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably what it was.
yeah.
But I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And like, what else happened in that montage?
He
he
one
takes
of my
candy from a
favorites-
baby.
Oh yeah, he takes candy from
And
a baby
just-
and
and just-
replaces it with a flask
Yeah.
of booze. And the baby gets drunk, and then the redneck mother sees that the baby's getting drunk, takes the booze, and drinks it.
Yep.
And then one of my favorites is that it was all you can eat endless buffet.
Yeah, and then it's
then
like-
he does the same thing where he tricks everybody to go into an all you can eat endless buffet, and then he switches the words to all you can eat or endless Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
And then everybody runs out like they're scared of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
So two things. Rednecks love Michael Bay and they hate Jimmy Buffett. We have
And
learned.
then, like, this guy's, like, fixing something, or, like, he's on a ladder fixing something. He's like, hey, can you lend me a hand? And the devil throws him, like, this store-bought, like, you know, Halloween store hand. It's like, yeah, sure. And then the guy's like, oh, God. And he falls off, and then he just explodes on impact on the ground.
And then as the devil keeps walking off camera, some other dude peeks around the corner, and I think you were looking down during this point.
yeah.
Maybe you were making notes.
I mean, I saw him putting, like, the banana in the car exhaust.
Sure.
And in the car
so
below
so
as
he
well.
does that, And then some dude walks around the corner being like, the hell was that? And then he just gets hit by a car.
What the fuck? I did not see
End of that scene, yeah. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, this montage is out of nowhere. It's just the devil walking down, just being like, I think I like it here. And then he just goes on this whole tirade for a while.
Yeah, it's like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we have that montage. Then Bubba goes to the Rusty Bombshell, wolfed out, and nobody notices that he's a werewolf.
Right. He's
like,
even trying to entice them, being like, don't you recognize anything evil about me?
And they're like, I mean, your hat looks cleaner and your breath smells.
And he gets all mad about it.
And then here's like a really smart joke. Jamie Sue, the bartender, she tries to give him a silver bullet beer.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't want that. It's like, whoa, that was a cool, like,
it took us a minute to get that joke, too.
Yeah, well, it took us a minute. It took us until these
took me a minute to get this whole movie.
It took these two guys like came into the bar going like, give us all your fucking money. And they're like, no, what the fuck? What are you doing? And Bubba is just like totally unaware of like everything because he's just eating like, I don't know,
tons of chicken.
Tons of chicken wings. Yeah.
He orders some chicken.
Yeah, so he's just eating away, and
these
these robbers come in, and they're like, give us your fucking money, and everything, and they're like, no, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, we're not giving you your money. And it's like, well, we'll see if you're persuaded by this, and they shoot Bubba,
just in the back.
Yeah, and he's just like unfazed by it,
still eating chicken.
Yeah, and they're like, Bubba, you were shot. He's like, what? And like, what the hell? How did that work? Poof, shoots him again, not fazed by it. That's when I realized, oh right. Werewolves, you can only kill them with a silver bullet. And that's where the silver bullet beer came into play. And it's like, oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
Then Bubba is like, he's fine. And then he gets up and he pokes one of the guys in the eyeballs.
And pulls out his eyeballs. And he takes a chomp out of one of them.
Yeah. Well, he clears the head off the other one. He just smacks the head off.
No. He pokes the dude in the eye holes. And then the other guy freaks out and points the gun at Bubba. Bubba grabs the dude's arm and then just like a
twists it off,
rips his arm off. The dude falls over. Eyeballs guy just comes back for more, I guess, because he can't see, so he's just like, where am I? And then Bubba smacks the dude with the other dude's arm and knocks his head off.
Werewolf strength.
Yeah, and then also the entire bar is like, yay!
Right, yeah. They like,
whereas I would be
awesome.
like, ah!
I know, be like, Bubba, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Like, I thought you just grew a really big beard and got really tan.
Then Bobby Joe and Dangerous Dwight like come in, and Bobby Joe like can see that Bubba is a werewolf, I guess.
Yeah. She seems to be the only one who reacts to his new looks because everybody else thinks like, oh, it's just Bubba with his new clean hat.
Right, yeah, but she's like, she notices that he's all hairy and everything.
In fact, she doesn't even notice that he's Bubba. That's the main thing.
Right, she's like, who's that
who's
guy?
This sexy new guy?
It's like, that's
I'm gonna
Bubba.
I'm gonna leave Dangerous Dwight for this sexy new guy.
Yeah, what a fucking whore.
Well, yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, she's not. She's not. She's a woman who can do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah, so she's like all about this new guy, and they're like, no, it's Bubba, can't you see? And she's like, but he's all hairy. Then Dangerous Dwight's like starts talking shit. It's like, oh, fuck you, dude. You think you're gonna take my girl or whatever? Then Bubba just decks him in the face, knocking his teeth out.
It has like a slow motion, like if you've ever seen Wanted, that film.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Which is a ridiculous film. Oh man, there's so much fire inside of me just mentioning its name. Anyways, there's that moment where he knocks the dude's face with a keyboard and the keys and his teeth fly off, spelling out fuck you. It's that exact same shot, except Bubba just decks Dangerous Dwight.
Yep.
And it's just blood and one tooth.
Yep.
Yeah, but I feel like somehow they got their hands on like that CG format to make that scene happen.
Yeah.
And they just used that.
They just took that scene and then just like painted over with their shit.
Yeah.
What happened next, Remy?
Well, I'm trying to decipher your ridiculous handwriting.
Well, give me that shit
Yeah, I'm
then.
realistically going to hand it back to you.
I have chicken scratch handwriting, ladies and gentlemen. Like, nobody can read it except for me.
I would love to call it doctor's handwriting, but that's too prestigious.
Yeah. Oh, so then Bobby Joe goes with Bubba.
How do you even read your handwriting?
Because I've been writing like this since I was like 5. You know?
And never progressed.
Never
Anyways.
So Bobby Joe goes with Bubba, and he tells her how he sold his soul for her. And she's like, Oh, that's so romantic. Like, who thinks that's romantic?
I mean, dude, I've bought flowers. I've gone on dates. Apparently, I'm doing it wrong because I,
know,
need
you gotta
to
sell
sell
your
my
soul to
soul.
the devil. And because of that, they're going to get married.
Well, after they bone down.
Yes.
She leaves with Bubba, and they do it on the roof of his car, and they come back super happy like a couple, and she announces, we're going to get married.
Yep. And the bar's like, woo, yay.
Yeah.
Free drinks, woo. And then we're introduced to the other people in this town that signed contracts with the devil, but they went horribly wrong.
There is a scene. It is actually right before this. It's after the devil's montage.
Yeah, but it's about maybe 10 minutes before this.
Yeah. Where the devil goes into, what is it? It's like Daryl's greasy meats, or something like that. Greasy meats
backdoor
and
meats or something like that.
Backdoor greasy meats. Yeah. And it's like a little butchery. And it's this dude chopping up like this insane mystery meat
with the tallest chef's hat you've ever seen.
Again, with the Doug Dimmadome imagery. Apparently, all of our films have to have one guy with a giant hat, whether it's Vanilla Ice or this guy
or Kumasabe.
Yeah. Everybody's got a giant hat. But the devil goes up to this guy, and he's just like chopping this weird meat, and the devil gives him a deal, much like he did with Bubba. And the guy essentially is just like, well, I wanted to have a third hand so that when I, tug on my meat, I can tickle my balls.
Wait, why can't you do that with two hands?
Well, he wants three hands, I guess, is just his thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a dual wielder.
He needs the other hand to, fast forward in the porn he's watching or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. For some reason, I imagine he's just doing it in the back of his deli. I don't know if he has a computer.
Well, he is from Broken Taint, so maybe he's,
Well, so the devil's like, all right, you get a third hand. And a third hand grows out of the dude's head and, busts through his chef's hat. And he's like, oh, right, awesome. So the devil leaves. And then it shows, a silhouette of, the door closing, and it has that, private eye glass door window thing that, makes a silhouette when you're looking from the outside. And you see the guy with his hand, and he bends over, and he's like, it doesn't reach.
Yeah, it's too short.
It doesn't reach. So that's, his curse to bear now, is that he just has a forehead arm that can't reach his junk.
This is just beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen.
So cut back to
we're at the bar, and all these people, so including
there's Sexy Nun, and
there's this guy with just abnormally large balls.
At least that's what it looks like. So ladies and gentlemen, let me paint the picture for you, because it is this large gentleman with acne on his face, and he comes out being like, "This is my curse," and you see that he has these giant, watery jugs of balls in his pants, and everybody's like, "Oh, we don't need to know your curse," and he's like, "No, I gotta tell you about my curse," and everybody's like, "No, please,
Go
please
away."
do not," and he's like, "You don't want to hear about the rest of my acne?"
He goes, "You can see my acne from all the way over there."
That's what it is, yeah. And it's just like, ooh, those are big pussy.
And then there's this guy with this. What looked like, before he said anything, it looked like a pike through his head.
He's like a skinny bald dude.
Yeah, and he's like, "I wanted to be the Batman,"
and they're all like, "What?" And he's like, "I wanted to be Batman," and he's got subtitles because he can't speak because he's got some wooden thing in his mouth.
And that's when we noticed that the wooden thing is a bat. Like a baseball bat. It's like, what a great joke.
And then Sexy Nun is there. There's two...
It's this family that was this woman who wanted her kids dead so she could have her husband back. I don't know.
And then the husband's there, and then the kids are
I
there,
fucking
but he doesn't want
hate
the
you.
kids.
Yeah, it's really
so
weird.
It's now they're forced into a ridiculous marriage. I felt like there was another golden cursed person that was super funny.
Probably. But,
yeah.
Well, there is one that
really
shows
good.
up later on.
That's right.
Yeah, there is one that shows up later on, and we'll get to that. But yeah, so they're all just well, he fucked us over, and Bubba, you have to kill the devil and destroy the contracts to make our lives, to make the town go back to normal.
So now we finally have the goal of the movie is that Bubba has to go and destroy the contracts because apparently that will reverse everything.
Yeah, allegedly so. And then He's like, well, how do I find the devil? Then just randomly, this dude just busts through the wall.
He is the coolest guy ever, and he has the coolest entrance. You just hear a motorcycle rev up, and he busts through the door.
It's an ATV.
Like,
you know?
well, oh no, not yet.
Oh yeah,
not yet.
at first it's a bike.
Okay,
It's a motorbike.
ladies and gentlemen, you know how in all of those movies where they're in a bar and they're like, all the bar is arguing and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And then there's that old man in the corner who like scratches something or breaks something or makes a loud noise, and everybody goes, and they look at him, and he's like some old fisherman, and he's like, I'll tell you about the story of the lake. And then he like tells you like what you need to do next. So instead of that, he just busts through the door on a motorcycle, and they're like, hey, it's Biker Bob. And then Biker Bob just straight up says, you got to go find, what's his name? Tommy?
Tom who?
Tom who?
Yeah.
And they all do the joke of like, Tom who? And he's like, yep. So now Bubba is on this mission to go find Tom who. So he's like riding around town trying to figure out who Tom who is. So I figure it's his first and last stop as he goes to the general store.
Right, because he does like all these fucking random weird things.
Yeah,
he's like, you know, he like plays like
goes
cats
home,
with kids.
He goes home, he like bones Baba Joe.
Right, because she seduces him.
Yeah. She said, make me walk funny again. And he's like,
there's a random zombie apocalypse in the middle of this.
Is that during the scene?
It's before he goes to the convenience store.
Okay, so I'm sorry that I breezed over this because it's easily breeze overable.
Yeah.
They randomly say that there's a zombie apocalypse. So then they have this montage of suiting up and Bubba's third cousin, that idiot dude from the bar.
And Cletus and this other dude from the bar.
Literally all of his like golden bar boys.
Yeah, they all just go like shoot up these zombies.
They team up to load up and go shoot zombies. So they drive out into this field where you see like zombies walking at you.
They're like,
So then they start popping them in the head, and they're like, "It's good, it's good, it's good." And then
Biker Bob
shows up
in
again.
an ATV.
It's like they discovered this character as they were writing it, so
right.
they have him
like,
come in.
We gotta put him in as many times as we can.
Yeah.
No, he's like, those aren't zombies. They're college kids looking for weed.
No, looking for shrooms.
Oh yeah, looking for shrooms. And they're like, what? How can you tell? Shoot one of them in the leg. And
so then, like, one of the fat dudes who's like sleeping in the bar all the time pops one dude in the leg, and he's literally just like,
"Ow, fuck, shit,
oh, my leg."
And then, like, the fat dude is also like, fucking college kids, and he just shoots another one in the head, like, no, stop.
Yeah,
you know?
and then they leave. And that's the end of
scene.
that. But this was like 10 minutes that
I know.
they spent on like suiting up for a zombie thing. And JG and I were like, oh man, this movie's doing like, you know, like devil deals, werewolf, zombies. Like next we're going to have vampires. And then it's like, nope, never mind. Next zombies. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, okay, that's over now.
And then they move on.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we go to the convenience store where like he meets this guy, this homeless guy outside, and they have like this really weird like Abbott and Costello bit where it's like, I'm looking for Tom who? Who? No, what? You know, it's like, what?
And he's like, what? Oh, that's whose cousin?
Yeah.
Like you got to go down the street for what? And then he's like, for who? And he's like, no, what?
No, I need someone for this. Oh, no. They're marrying this. And it's like, who? Like, no, there, you know. It's stupid.
So it literally ends, like, I think that they only wrote that part of the story of finding who just for this joke.
Yeah.
So they have their little Abbott and Costello bit, and Bubba gets so frustrated that he literally just punches a hole through his head.
And kills him.
And then as the homeless dude falls over, he has straight up
like,
a name
hello,
tag.
my name is Tom who.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess.
Moving on.
Yeah.
And then we see like this random commercial where where the devil is franchising because hell is overpopulated. So he's chosen Florida to franchise in.
Right.
You know?
So sell your soul, Florida, and that become part of our workers.
That is when like the obese guy from the bar, it's like, you know, what do you want? It's like, well, I'd like a woman in my life. And then he like turns him into a woman, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then another girl's like, I want love. STDs.
Yeah,
you know?
now she has STDs.
Yeah. So, and that just happens. And then we're moving on because that's basically like
the way the movie works.
Halfway through this movie, it just kind of went like, wait, how, what?
Things are just like happening now.
Yeah. And then Bubba and Bobby Joe realize that they have to go see this palm reader.
The
lady
mystic
from the beginning of the film.
Beginning, yeah.
The Maria Hushmansada, type character. And so they go to visit her, and she's like reading. She's blind, first of all.
Yeah, she's got those contacts in that make you look blind.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's how you look if you're blind.
I guess so. And so she's like looking at his palm because he has the pentagram on his palm, and she just like drools into his palm.
She like holds his palm, and she's like, "Oh, this is," and she like coughs a bunch, and then she starts drooling, and then it's like they just poured Vaseline into the actress's mouth,
and
disgusting.
she
like drips it onto his hand.
It's disgusting.
And Bubba's like, "Oh, that's gross," and she's like, "No, the drool, it will help. It will help the spirits."
And at one point, he's like, at one point though, he goes to like lick it, and then Bobby Joe's like, "No, stop that! Stop that, Bubba."
He does have like little like doggy,
right, tendencies.
Thank you. Yeah.
So she just basically tells him like, it's like, wait, so did he give you like the smokeless ashtray? Did he give you the 4-slice toaster and the
vegetable peeler?
Vegetable peeler. He's like, no, he took
I
the vegetable
didn't
peeler.
get the vegetable peeler.
She's like, oh, there's still a chance.
Boom, ladies
they're all
and
like
gentlemen.
they're all like Horcruxes or whatever,
Big twist on you guys.
Yeah.
You didn't think that was gonna matter.
And it matters.
It mattered so big.
And guess what? For the first time ever, we picked up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of funny, so we remembered it.
Yeah.
But also, weirdly, that one random scene that they had where it was a game show and he took away the vegetable peeler.
Yeah.
I said Skinner, which is a little bit more violent, probably more up the devil's alley, up Satan's alley. Tropic Thunder.
And so they're like, all right, well, we have time to like go back and try to like, fight him. And then the palm reader tells Bubba, it's like, you play to your strengths, and then also says that there's a clause in the contract, which he doesn't remember about. And so then we go back to the rusty bombshell, and the devil is there trying to persuade Cletus to sign the contract. And Cletus is refusing. He's like, well, don't you want testicles and everything? And Cletus is like...
This is the old vet dude.
Yeah, the old vet dude. He's like, well, it doesn't matter now because I can't even get hard. And it's like, what about the blue pills? It's like, nah, those don't work. And he's like trying so hard to get Cletus to sign, and Cletus is just like, I'm fine with my life, I don't need any of that. I mean, it'd be nice, but it's okay.
Yeah. Like he has so many excuses. There was one little line that he did that I loved that was like, I got that ADD, that OCD,
and
I got that AT&T, and I got that
contract
Verizon.
With Verizon. Yeah. And so then Bubba returns heroically.
Yeah.
And challenges the devil
to a game of quarters.
If you don't know what quarters is, it's a drinking game, ladies and gentlemen, where you have to flip the quarter into the...
No, you bang it. It's like, think of ping pong. Think of ping pong, but with a quarter.
Beer pong.
Yeah. I mean, I was just imagining you bounce it off the table into the glass.
Right, yeah.
And then whoever misses has to take a drink.
Yeah,
so
no, it's if one person makes it, then you have to take a drink, I think.
If you both make it, then...
If you make it, the other guy has to take a drink.
Right.
And then if you miss it, you have to take a drink.
Right.
Yeah. So, but Bubba's like, I'm really good at quarters, which isn't really, what you think, that's what you think is the idea, is that he's really good at quarters. But what really his game is that he's good
at drinking. So he's trying to just outdrink the devil, which is a great, awesome, spin on, Devil Went Down to Georgia, except it's just this redneck, podunk, nothing town, and he's just like, well, I can just outdrink him.
Yeah, and then, the bet is that if Bubba wins, tear up all the contracts. But if the devil wins, he says, I get to marry, and everybody goes, because they're thinking he wants to marry Bobby Joe.
Yeah.
And he says, Cletus.
So then, even so, though, Bubba's heart is still in it, being like, ain't nobody marrying my Cletus. So they're playing quarters, and it's like, devil makes one. Bubba misses his first, and it's just like, oh shit. So Bubba's just drinking off the start. For the record, what they're drinking is this giant jug of Jamie Sue's uncle's moonshine.
Yep.
And she said that it put down one of their horses or something. She said something about it knocked out an animal. So they're literally dipping their shot glasses into this giant basin of moonshine. And they're going at it, and the devil says, once we run out of that, I've got my own special liquor.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
this weird bottle with a black squid on it.
The
it's
devil's
not
potion
Kraken
or whatever.
It's just some thing.
Yeah. Some serpent of some kind.
Yeah. So,
Oh well, it would have been it wouldn't have been the snake, the serpent, like Adam and Eve.
I don't know. It
serpent.
looked like a squid to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
Anyways, it's Squidward.
Yep. So they're playing their game. Bubba's losing, but then Bubba gets the upper hand at the very end. And as the devil's taking too long to take a shot, not to drink, but to shoot his quarter, Bubba just chugs the rest of the moonshine.
Yeah.
And is just like, you lose. And then the devil is like, you fucking idiot. Like, that's not how the game works.
Yeah, but then Bubba's like, but we're drinking buddies now. We drink together. We're drinking buddies. So have it there, pal. And pats him on the.
Not yet, because the devil pulls up his own bottle of whatever.
His squid juice.
He pops open his squid juice and souls fly out of it. And he says, like, what can I say? It's good for the soul. Or something like that.
But,
yeah. So they take a few shots of that. They do a couple rounds of that. And they're both hammered at this point. So then Bubba leans over and says, like, we're both pretty equal. And slaps the devil on the shoulder. The devil flies out of his chair. Yeah. And that was the rule, is whoever stays in their chair the longest.
They never said anything about being pushed out of your chair. They just said, if you fall out of your chair.
Right.
They never stated on your own will or like on your own accord.
Which, like, that's
loophole.
That's devil's rules, though. Like any deal with the devil
Cheated
story.
The devil.
Any deal with the devil story works like
you
that,
have to out-trick him.
Because he'll always be like, you want it to be beautiful, you just didn't think it was this kind of beauty, or whatever,
yeah,
you
like,
know?
haha, I tricked you.
Yeah, so
you gotta trick the
the
devil.
rules were very, concrete, and it was that you have to stay in your chair the longest and play quarters. The devil wasn't in his chair at one point.
Nope. So
Whether or not he was pushed, he lost. It's the rules.
So they start throwing hands with each other. They throw a couple punches.
Yeah. Bubba gets knocked to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Like he does a good few like 1-2s on the devil, and the devil's like, nice try. Gives him one punch. Bubba's down. So now he's on the ground. Baba Joe runs over to him and is like, hey, I'm gonna sell my soul to keep the devil from taking your life.
Yeah.
And Bubba's like, no, Baba Joe, don't do that.
And then he remembers that there's an escape clause to every contract. Because they also make a joke, too that, like, the devil is a lawyer,
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's something that's constant, is they're like, he's got a bunch of names. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, a lawyer. So everybody in the town is always like, you lawyer types. And the devil's just like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
So the escape clause says that if you can guess the name of the devil correctly, you can end your contract.
For the record, Baba Joe does sign away her soul.
Yes.
It is like in the contract now. So now her life and soul is on the line to save Bubba. But the escape clause is to guess the devil's real name.
Yes. And so then they're like, well, you got to guess my name right. And then the cousin goes like, is it John?
Which is possibly my favorite, just because right away he's like, oh, I got it. Is it John?
And they're all saying they're all saying random names. And then one point someone says, is it Mitch? And then the devil goes, no, who the fuck names their kid Mitch? Which is funny because the actor who played the devil's name is Mitch.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like this whole movie, they were really good on the jokes.
Yeah.
As low budget and weird as the storyline, because I don't want to use the word bad, as rough as the storyline was, the jokes were on par.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything was so good. All the science in the background, everything everyone said. I giggled every time.
Oh, yeah. It was so fun. And then, Remy, who comes in to save the day?
Right before that, fucking Bubba,
Bubba
leans in, and it's like that dramatic moment where the camera zooms in, and he goes, "Is it Rumpelstiltskin?"
And the devil's like, "No, why would it be that?"
And then boom, my boy Biker Bob rolls up through the wall again. I mean, he's constantly breaking down that door. I don't know how many times they put it up. I'm sure it's like built out of Legos at this point because they're like, we'll just fix it in a minute.
Right.
So he rolls up and just leans forward out of nowhere, being like,
For the record, he's going to say this name, and we had to, like, pause it, put on the subtitles so we could, like, write it down. But, Remy, take it away.
Biker Bob busts through the door dramatically and leans forward, stares the devil in his 2 eyes, and says, "Your name is Bladerick Jr., Adolfo Italicus Joanna Rasputinstein III Jr." And the devil panics and melts and dies.
And then everybody gets their contracts back.
Yeah.
So they can, like, rip them up and everything, and everybody's, like, all cool and everything.
They're all happy.
Except for whatever reason, Bubba decides not to rip up his contract.
Well, I know the reason, and that's because
Bobby Joe likes
Yeah.
that. Likes that.
she likes that wolf dong, big old wolf dong.
So this movie has, like, I guess playing into Rednecks, but it has, like, you know, has bestiality as part of it, which is just fucking weird.
It's semi-bestiality.
It's like a quarter because he's werewolf, which is half man, half wolf, and she is a woman. So, like, they make, you know, she's all woman, he's half man, half wolf. So I guess that's 25% wolf.
And while they're all celebrating and being like, "Yeah, we did it. We beat the bad guy. It's the end of the film," Bubba rolls up to Biker Bob and he goes, "Biker Bob, how'd you know his name?" And Biker Bob, like, leans in close and goes, "A master of a 2-stroke engine knows many things. That was one of them." And then it cuts to our little mystic woman out in who knows where, like the little fortune teller lady, and she goes, "Wait, I feel another disturbance." So John and I are, like, excited that there's going to be, like,
Sequel!
Yeah.
Sequel!
And then she goes, "Never mind. It was just gas." The end.
Oh, man.
And that's the end of the film, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that was. I really enjoyed this movie. You can find it on YouTube. You can buy it on YouTube. I'm sure there are other places you can find it, but please,
in fact, you should buy it.
You should. It's a fun watch.
It was actually really fun.
Well, I'd say rent it. I wouldn't buy it because I don't know if we'd watch this again. But or maybe we would. If I was, like, really drunk, I'd be like, let's pop in Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. I honestly want to, like, take a closer look at all of the inside little jokes and the signs and stuff.
Right,
Because there was so much stuff. Like, not only Cownado and then the little corn toothpaste. When they were outside the convenience store, there was tons of fun stuff that we, like, paused on and were staring at, and I forget what so many of them were, but they were golden. I remember there was one that was, instead of Camel cigarettes, it was just cow, and then just had a cigarette next to it. And there was something about it was like Slurpzilla, now with more corn, or something like that. Yeah, it's a great film. It's fun for all ages. I have a bad standard on that.
But yeah, so we enjoyed the movie, and we think you should watch it too. And it is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for Ed Wood trivia.
Every time.
Every time we do this.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Do. Ed Wood trivia.
So this week's question, Remy, has to do with the film Ed Wood.
Well,
starring Johnny Depp.
Oh, that one.
Directed by Tim Burton, yes, in 1994.
Okay.
Here's your question.
All right.
Johnny Depp studied many people so that he could hone his performance on Ed Wood. Among them, he watched performances of Jack Haley as the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz.
Got it.
And the acting of Mickey Rooney and Casey Kasem.
Okay.
He also watched speeches of this U.S. president. Which president did he watch? Was it A, Richard Nixon, B, John F. Kennedy, or C, Ronald Reagan?
For some reason, Nixon was the very first thing that popped in my head. That's why I just clapped. Because I think if you're going to talk like anybody, talk like Nixon, because that's just so much fun.
Well, yeah, well, you have to remember, though, like, who did he watch to help him become Ed Wood?
You mean he didn't? He wasn't talking like this throughout the entire film?
No, he wasn't.
Because I am not a crook. Okay, I'll just Nixon that one. Well, I'm gonna go with C, Reagan.
Yes, you are correct. C, Ronald Reagan.
Shit!
Yeah, he watched several Reagan speeches because Johnny Depp felt that he had a kind of blind optimism that was perfect for Ed Wood.
Well, that sounds great. But yeah.
Yeah.
I got one right, guys.
Yeah, it's the second one you've gotten right. You got the Hindenburg one right.
Oh, that's right.
I helped you a lot with that one, so I gave you half points for that
but-
one. This
okay.
one you got full points.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
But for the record, I did say Hindenburg without you saying the word Hindenburg.
Yes.
And I also described it to Rachel as a blimp,
Yes.
which is also correct.
Which is, yes, also factual. All right, well, that does it for this week's episode of Obscurities of the Silver Screen. We
Nice.
hope you had fun, and we hope you aren't killing everybody that you meet on Black Friday while you go shop for things.
Specifically shopping for things so that you can listen to our podcast.
Yeah, get your new phones, guys.
Yeah.
Listen
New
to this
phones,
podcast.
speakers,
Yeah.
headphones, a big comfy blanket so you just snuggle in.
Blast that shit
Pop
just
on
all
that,
day long.
that Obscurities.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we've had a pleasure doing this again, and we will be back next week for another episode. What movie it will be, I don't know.
Yeah,
You'll
it's
have
always
to-
a mystery.
It always is. Well, yeah, it's always a mystery. So
Yeah.
if you want to find out what it is, just keep updated on our social media pages because we always give little hints, throughout the week.
Yeah, follow our Smellygram, our Footbook, our Tweaker, and
our Moose Boos.
yeah, our Moose Boost. What's Moose Boost?
MySpace.
Okay. Do we have a MySpace?
We don't.
Okay.
I was just joking.
Well, get ready because I'm about to make us a MySpace, and I'm making it, so it's gonna get weird. All right, stay obscure, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see you next week.